Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking about reframing and how it can help you to get past anxiety. I'll also be throwing in a little bonus tip towards the end, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Tipharot, and in this video I'm going to be talking a bit about reframing things. So, have you ever gone out somewhere and suddenly you're hit by anxiety? Maybe you suffer from anxiety and you're having a panic attack and you don't know what to do. You just feel nervous, your body is twitching and your heart is racing, your palms are sweaty, and you just feel like everything's going to go wrong. Well, I've been there. I've been there millions of times, and it's not a pleasant feeling. But what I learned over the years is there is actually a way of dealing with this in such an effective manner that it's unparalleled, really. The thing is, we have to reframe what we're feeling. We have to look at it from a different angle and see that what our body is doing isn't necessarily a bad thing. So let me put this in perspective for you. I'll give you another example. Let's take actual physical pain. Have you ever worked out really hard? Not everyone works out that often, but if you have, or if you've just gone for a long run or whatever, you know that feeling where your muscles are aching. You know, they're physically in pain. And yet you actually feel good. You feel good about that pain because it's a sign that you've done some work on yourself and that you're improving yourself. So the pain doesn't feel bad. It feels like almost just a marker that you're doing something well. And yet you can have a similar level of pain from something else, from, stubbing your toe or tripping up and falling on the ground or something. I don't know. There's a million and one things that can give you a similar level of pain, and yet you react to them as if they're a million times worse pain, as if it's like something horrible and you can't handle it. And it's all about the framing, because when you're exercising, you expect there to be some level of, stress on your muscles, and you know that that's actually a sign that you're working out in the right way and that you're actually growing. Whereas when you're out on a walk or whatever, you don't expect to trip up, and so when you do, it's this big nasty surprise, and it kind of hurts. Now the same is true for anxiety, for all sorts of things. We're reacting to it because we've come to expect that, we either feel good or we feel anxious, for example. And what's actually the case is our body is getting excited. Yep, you heard it first here. You're just getting excited. You're not getting anxious, you're getting excited. But you psychologically react to it as a bad thing. And now it's become anxiety. So let's look at excitement versus anxiety. When you're excited, your heart starts racing. Your palms start sweating. Your body starts twitching a bit. You feel nervous. You feel apprehensive. What's anxiety? Same thing. The difference is all in the mind. In your mind, you get anxious and you think, oh no, everything's going to go wrong. In your mind, when you're excited, you're like, oh, this is so good, can't wait for this to happen, blah, blah, blah. So you can learn to reframe this. Just like you can learn to remember that, a little bit of pain when you trip up is no worse than what happens when you're exercising or whatever anyway. It's just a temporary thing and there's nothing bad about it. You can learn that actually your anxiety is excitement. You get excited when you're exposed to new situations, things that you perhaps feel a bit out of place in, or things that you don't have much experience with, because your body is like, wow, this is going to be something new, I need to prepare, I need to hype you up, I need to pump you full of adrenaline. And that's what your body does, it releases a lot of adrenaline. It's the same as an adrenaline rush when you're bungee jumping or something. That's the same physical reaction in your body as anxiety. And yet people love to bungee jump specifically for that adrenaline rush. So what you have to realise is next time you're getting anxious, next time you're getting worried, you're not actually having anything bad going on in your body. You're excited in your body. So all you have to deal with is the mind. And remind yourself, whatever you're doing is perhaps something that you don't have the right level of practice with. If you have social anxiety, maybe you don't socialise enough because of, the anxiety. So it's just giving you that extra adrenaline boost and getting you excited so that you can actually do better at the situation. Because when we do things for the first time, we're not always that great at them. It depends on the activity, but sometimes, we struggle a bit because we're worried. But by having that adrenaline pumping through us, even when we're completely shitting bricks and really worried, we're actually going to do quite well. So turn your anxiety on its head, turn your worries on their head, and turn your pain on its head, and realise that actually there's a way of looking at these things from a completely different angle and seeing the same feelings as something positive. Now, as a bit of a bonus, I want to give you guys an extra tip that's really helped me. if you actually feel that anxiety, don't just reframe it and say, okay, it's excitement, I'm happy, I'm excited for what I'm going to do now. Yes, do that, but what you should also do is actually, rather than trying to get rid of the feeling in your body, encourage it. Now this might seem extremely counterintuitive, but it's actually not. When you actually try and get rid of anxiety, it's like saying, don't think of a pink elephant. Now I use this example a lot, but it's true. If you say, don't think of a pink elephant, you start thinking of the pink elephant. And it's the same if you try to not be anxious. You start being anxious. So what you have to actually do instead is try and feel the anxiety, accept it, and try and feel it in your body. Like, feel your heart racing, feel your palms sweating and all of that, and just focus on it and explore it in a kind of neutral way. Don't look at it as bad, don't look at it as good, just explore it in a neutral way. And realize that, your body is excited for what you're about to do. And when you do that, you realize something really strange, is even though you're trying to focus on it and trying to look at all these things, it's not actually getting any worse. And you've kind of peaked out, and you also realize that it's not that bad. So this is a good way of tipping the scales on anxiety and getting a one-up on it. And then the next thing that you need to do is just practice whatever it is that you're feeling anxious about. Because exposure to anything that we fear or that we're nervous about or that we're excited about kind of dulls that sense a bit, and it gets to the point where it's in the background. So even if you have, severe social anxiety, you can't leave the house, with enough exposure, you can change that. So that's been all for this video on reframing anxiety, on reframing pain and that. And I hope this has benefited some of you. Remember, if you aren't part of the community already, I recommend hitting that subscribe button so that you can be up to date with our regular video updates. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Remember to check out our other videos on the channel. There'll be a link to one now at the end of the video. Take care.